Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of the Crann podcast. I'm Orla Healy and I'm here with Irish Wheelchair Association Sports Communication Officer Jack Squibb. Welcome, Jack.
Hi Orla, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I hear you're sporting an injury at the moment, though, so you're not 100% good.
No, that's true. A bit of a gym accident the other day, and I've torn my pectoral muscle.
That's a dose. So good luck with
seen
that.
Better days, yeah.
So for people who don't know you and what you do, could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, I'm the Sports Communications Officer for Irish Wheelchair Association. Basically, what my role is to help raise the profile of our clubs, multi-sports or specific clubs otherwise for those with disabilities around the country, and also to help get new members into IWA sport as well.
That's really fantastic, and from what I know about you, it sounds like a really perfect role for you, if you don't mind me saying, because you're a parasports lover yourself, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. There's no hiding from that. Like I am, down here in Cork, and I'm with Rebel Wheelers Multisport Club 2, where I play wheelchair rugby for them. So yeah, I kind of live and breathe it, and to say that that's my job for the IWA, you could almost say it's not many people get to say, but you could almost say it's a dream job. Yeah,
that sounds really cool. What does a day in the office or out in the field, as it may be, look for you in that role?
There's two sides. There can be the boring days where you're not out and about, and then there are the exciting days, where you are, at events and stuff. But on a day-to-day basis, it's prepping content for our social media platforms. A lot of prepping up-and-coming campaigns, working with our advocacy team, our PR team as well, to help push any particular messages out there, stuff like that. But then the more exciting things would be, attending events such as the wheelchair basketball season, which has just returned, or athletics, Grand Prix that would be all over the country. 1 week I could be in Templemore, the next I could be down in Tralee watching powerlifters prepare to go to World Championships. So, it really can be here, there and everywhere, and just every weekend can be something different. It's never a quiet day.
I think any communication job is there. No 2 days are alike, but getting to fly up the country and do what you do must be really exciting. Do you ever come across any complications in terms of travel when you're working so much traveling? I do have a disability myself. So once I turned 16, I did get a travel pass. And I don't drive. I'm currently learning. So to try and get somewhere, for example, Tralee, I don't like buses. So if I can take a train anywhere, I'll try and do that. But to get the train to Tralee means I have to get the train from Cork to Mallow and then switch from Mallow to Tralee. And sometimes it can take so much longer than what a car drive could take. And learning to drive hasn't been an easy process either because of my disability. So it can be tedious trying to get to and from events. I can well imagine. And how are you feeling about the driving situation? Are you
I'm enjoying it. I'm loving the lessons. I think growing up playing Mario Kart as a kid and as an adult hasn't helped. Just waiting to throw a banana skin out the window. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. There'll be people looking for me now on the road. Be rocking up the points on the license before you know it. But it's been great getting the lessons, and with my disability again, because it's a physical disability with my legs and my feet, I am learning manually, which I'm able to do, but I do struggle sometimes with the pedals. So it's probably harder than what it would be for the average person. But it's a good challenge, and it's something I should have done a long time ago. And I'm just itching to get behind the wheel and drive and not have to rely on the 220 anymore.
the freedom it'll bring, I can imagine, will be fantastic. Tell me a bit more about where that passion for sport began with you. Did you always take part in sports, in parasports? I was born in just outside of Liverpool in England, and as you can imagine, it's a football, soccer mad town and city and region. So growing up, you just live and breathe it, whether it is football, whether it's cricket or rugby. And stuff like that, you know, it's unavoidable almost in Merseyside, and just growing up supporting Liverpool, and you know, wanting to play football on the playground in primary school with my friends or other people in the school, it was just always there. And even then, parasport wise, I actually knew very little about it up until about 2012. When I was on a lad's holiday at a music festival, and just I think it got to about 12 or 1 o'clock at night, and we're talking about why can't I play football. I mean, the answer for those that know me is fairly obvious, but you know, what else could I do? And one of the lads who I've never met before was just like, "Have you heard of wheelchair rugby?" And it just, you know, somehow out of all the information and all the nonsense we would have been speaking with maybe a few too many beers at the end of a long week away, that stuck. And then I got back, and I was put in touch with Alan Deneen and Teresa Deneen, who were involved with wheelchair rugby in Cork before Rebel Wheelers at the time. And it's just been something I'll do anything for to make people more aware or get involved in any capacity.
If people out there listening are interested in getting involved in parasports, in Cork specifically is probably where you know the best, but or I suppose through the IWA there might be more resources there. How would people kind of start to get involved in parasports, or how would you recommend people get involved?
So if you're in Cork or the Kerry region, or at least, you know, close to the border of Cork, if you're on the Kerry side of things, and maybe even going as far as to say if you're closer to the border, you know, your Dunmanway is by Waterford. My English is showing my geography.
Your direction, I suppose. Yeah.
So if you're close to Waterford on that side, you know, but still within Cork, then I'd recommend Rebel Wheelers Multi-Sport Club. They have so many sports to choose from for all ages, typically starting from 5 up. So there's athletics, which is completely adaptable, whether you are a full-time wheelchair user or you're mobile. Or even limited mobility, where you do depend on both walking or wheelchair. There's also wheelchair basketball, which anyone who has even an inkling of parasport in Ireland, they'll know Rebel Wheelers have been very successful and have a very, very brilliant programme for junior level to get involved at wheelchair basketball. And then there's the sport I play, wheelchair rugby. So you can just reach out to the club that way on social media, which Facebook is Rebel Wheelers Multi-Sport Club. On Instagram, it's Rebel Wheeler, so not Rebel Wheelers. And then on Twitter or X, it's Rebel Wheelers as well on there. So you can reach out to us there, and we'll point you in the right direction of whatever sector of the club you're willing to try. And then on a more national level, with the IWA, if you want to go to iwa.ie/sport, and you'll see it there in the top right corner, join us, and you can complete a really easy form and sign up, and we'll point you in the direction of a sport development officer to get you in the sport that you want to try.
That sounds like the processes are quite significant and diverse. That's really great.
Yeah, like literally 3 or 4 clicks and you're in.
Yeah. Sport, for people with disabilities, sports can sometimes seem more intimidating, I suppose. Do you have any advice for young people out there who want to take up a sport and put themselves out there?
Best thing I could say is just give it a go. You know, if it's for you, you'll never look back, and if it's not for you, you can say at least you tried it and now you know. And then who knows, you might want to become a part of the parasport world from a athlete or competitive side, but there is so much more to it as well. There's a social aspect you gain out of it. There's the coaching elements, or even just to try and get fitness up. There's so much to gain from it. Just give it a try, and if one sport's not for you, give the next thing a try. Everyone has been in the same position when joining in the parasport world of any of the sports available. you will find the thing for you. Just give it a go.
And sports, as part of your job, has taken you around the world. You mentioned you're just back from Greece for was it the Paralympia? What was that like?
It was amazing. It was part of the Erasmus scheme from the European Union, and it was also in line with European Week of Sport that's just passed. So basically, it was like what I've just said there about, go and give a sport a try. It was organised by the Hellenic Paralympic Committee, so the Greek Paralympic Committee, for those that wouldn't know what Hellenic is. And it was just a week long of being told what these sports are, even if you play it full time. They explained it to you as if you've never heard of even what a wheelchair is. So they would describe that to you. They would give you basic exercises on to start, and then you get to try it, and to be there alongside 11 other nations, and then to be there for Ireland or the IWA, and being there as staff, but also being there to participate. It was just such a good experience to try things I've never done before.
Oh, so you were right in the thick of it, trying everything out.
Absolutely. Even if I wasn't meant to be, I would have found a way.
Yeah.
I wasn't missing out on that.
Yeah, I suppose you can file it under the guidance of knowledge when it comes to your job. And I understand you've been accessing supports at Crann too. How has that been for you?
Crann has been very important to me over the last, I think, since 2021, since I first got a call from Colette. And basically, I avail from services that have helped when I've really needed help, such as counselling with Pat here. I've also availed of career guidance from Mary O'Grady, and then the podiatry service has really helped at times when the HSC hasn't been able to, or when they've been overwhelmed. But I would really say it's the counselling service here that's done the most. Just coincidentally, Colette called at the right time, in a time when I needed it. Probably more than most, and quite cliche, it was during a breakup that was quite fresh, and during lockdown that was not easy for anyone across the country. And I was also off the back of surgery for the first time in, I think, over 10 years, or nearly 10 years as well. So there were a lot of things that I wasn't really, how would you put it,
It sounds like it came at a time when several paths were colliding for you a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. And I wasn't really talking about it with anyone. And when you're in lockdown as well, at those times when you could go for a walk more than 2 or 5k, whatever it was at the time, there was no way to let it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there on, like having regular meetings with Pat. Even today, I still go and have sessions. It has helped so much to keep me or at least help me try and keep a clear mind, or develop a clear mind, or process things.
I completely see that. I think even at times when that may not be a particular stress point in your life, to have that little mental health tune-up, a little check-in regularly is so important.
Absolutely.
So what's next for you? You've got you've got a lot going on for yourself. So like, we're going to wrap up soon, but what's next for Jack Squibb?
This is a good question. So with IWA at the moment, a lot is going on. A lot of things are coming back. The Wheelchair Basketball League has just returned. We have a women's wheelchair basketball team starting up for the first time, Emerald Rollers, and they will be competing in the GB League. So there'll be a lot of focus on that coming, which is fantastic to get more women into the sport as well.
Is that an island-wide, or is it county-specific or region-specific?
Island-wide,
okay, brilliant.
Nationwide. So there will be trials and come and try sessions. I'm not entirely sure the dates of that, but IWA is the place to keep an eye on if anyone is interested. But that as well, the wheelchair rugby, Rebel Wheelers, we won the league on the last day of the season in dramatic fashion, if I say so myself. That's meant to come back around the end of November, beginning of December as well. So if my muscle has recovered in time, I'll be back in the thick of that as well.
Fantastic. It sounds like it's probably a good time for anyone interested to actually start seeking those resources and getting involved. It's probably a good time for that.
Absolutely. It's less than 100 days away from the Paralympics in Paris now, and if you want to try and, you know, follow in the footsteps of like Katie O'Brien up the country in rowing, powerlifters as well, like Brittany Arends, who is more or less, you know, set to compete this next year in Paris. Now's the time to get involved, and, you know, you can follow their path, and LA 2028 will come around quicker than you know it, and that could be the next person who listens to this, hopefully following in those steps.
Well, look, we can only hope. We can only point people in the right direction and hope for the best. We know the capability is out there.
Exactly.
For sure. Listen, thank you, Jack, for coming in. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and speak to me.
Yeah, it was great to sit down and chat about all things parasport. Anytime, more than happy to come back if you'll ever have me.
Oh, we absolutely will. Thanks a million.